used to be a dreamer. I walked in plains of gold, saw beauty in the eyes of everyone.
Hi guys to everyone, it's Ada from Poison Rock, and I give I don't know, the fifth welcome back to Parker and Leo from Wings of Steel. First of all, how's going? It's been a kind of while. How's going, guys?
Yeah, no, doing good. It's good to be back with you.
Yeah. So we are here because, of course, there is a lot of live shows happening, a major tour happening this fall, but also because I think as Italians, it's nice to highlight also what's going on in Italy sometimes. So because you will be playing, if I'm right, the 27th of June at Slaughter Club, and with a lot of cool band, and organized by Rocker Sound Agency, if I'm correct. So for the people that are around there, that's a good chance. There are four amazing bands opening as well as X-Blade. So with that, so what I mean, it's the second time you played in Italy, but this time is in a really fucking cool venue. It's really beautiful, and from of course from the first time you played in Italy, of course you had already a good response. But now, in general, what we can expect, what fan can expect that maybe is different from the first time you played it in Italy.
Well, since then we have a new album out, so you can expect to hear some new kick-ass music live. Um,
Yeah,
it's been some time since we played there now, a little over a year, I guess
yeah, it was a
it will be.
July, yeah, July.
Um, yeah, so we've also we have more fans in Italy now, so we expect a even better turnout than last time. And like you said, it's a cool venue. It's going to be a really fun evening. You mentioned too that there's a couple of cool opening bands. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think if you come out, you're going to have a lot of fun, and gonna get your fair share of heavy metal.
of
Yeah,
course. So,
it's
yeah,
one of the I'll add to that too. Like so we're doing a on this European tour, it's mostly festivals, but there's a few special headline dates that we have around, and this is one of the few headline shows that we get to do
yeah,
this entire year. So, even if you're not from Italy, but if you want to witness
yeah,
the that, because everywhere else we're playing mostly festival slots, and later in the North America with Sabaton, it's all a support slot. So obviously it's not as lengthy as a full-on headline show. So this is actually not just our only show in Italy, but it's also a special show this year from that standpoint.
yeah. Because I kind of almost as the set of like almost a small festival, like a day festival where you're kind of headlining. So, which I'm really glad to see, because when I speak with bands and musicians, I spoke and I mentioned the Wings of Steel. It's like I say all the time that you started really like in Europe slowly, take your own time. You never just went straight to the top bottom and said, "Oh, we are the best." You start slow and then you add more live shows. You're growing in a consistent and really um I don't want to say like fast, but also with their own time, like fit grounded. That's what I saw since we started to do we know each other. There's never been like let's go fast, and like you took your time, but you're consolidating your own music, your own path. And that's what something that I think you're the only band, young bands now in Europe and in the world. So what do you think about this also, this band that start fast? It's like like a fading stars, something like that. I use approach on that.
Um, I mean, it's kind of it's all circumstantial. I
Yeah,
think the thing with musicians and I mean becoming a band, getting bigger as a band, it's not like other career paths in life where it's like a pretty prescribed like process of steps that you take. Oh, you get this degree and then you go do this
yeah,
internship. It doesn't, it's very just, it's circumstantial. Um, and of course, there's a bunch of factors that play into the circumstance, one being how dedicated is the band to its growth, but also to how are your relationships in the industry? How are the offers that you're getting? Is your music and live show even, how good is that? Like, so there's a whole number of things that can play into how fast a band grows. But I mean, for us, we've always done things our own way.
Exactly.
Um, and we weren't blessed to be inherited in a situation where we like knew all the top people at the industry right from the get-go. We kind of had to I
Yes.
mean from when we started, we didn't really know anybody in the industry, so we've really just had to build it up, and that's progressed at the speed it's progressed at, so
Yeah. No, but that's like I said, that's what makes also your journey in music, I would say, more consistent and also professional in a point of it. That's as well. But I'm seeing that there are the guys in the band also in the live shows that are like kind of a stable lineup, we can say. So just also for people that are not aware, let's give it a shout out to the other guys as well, because I think it's also well deserved from the live for the live shows. I'll leave to introduce also the other guys. There will be also the same line guys playing also in Europe, and then the tour with Sabaton.
Yeah, it'll be the same guys. So we have on rhythm guitar. I mean, obviously we have Parker and I, but we have Stefan uh, on rhythm guitar. He's been with us since day one. We have Matthew Trobeck on bass. He's been with us now. This is his second tour with us.
yeah,
Um,
2024.
yeah, since 2024. And then Mike Mahan. Mahan, am I saying that right? I always pronounce
Man,
his last
man.
name Mahan.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to
So,
get me back up.
yeah, so
But
he's
anyways, he started out with the band. He's
Yeah.
recorded with us the EP and Gates of Twilight,
Okay.
and he played the first ever show with us as well. And
Okay.
then he had to leave the band for some time due to some personal reasons, and he had like a shoulder injury and stuff.
Yeah.
But he's back in the lineup now, so we're very stoked to have him with us back on the road. I think it's going to be really cool, and yeah, everyone's fired up and ready to go. Ahead of what was supposed to be the Sabaton tour back in January. It was supposed to start in February, but we ran rehearsals in January, and it all sounded really tight, felt really good. So we're stoked to finally be able to go out there and bring it live now.
Of course. And since I mean the Wind of Time is being released, how like the new song are, let's say, as evolved on stage compared as well when they were first recorded and written, if there has been
I
an evolution on that.
No, definitely. I think when we wrote the record, because we wrote that record right after we had finally done a little bit more touring, we had a bit more insight and immediate perspective as to like what are some elements that we want to bring to our live show.
Okay.
So the music was really in large part written from that standpoint. So naturally, when we go and play these songs live, they all translate really really well. And we actually they've only, a lot of them. We had the singles, the Winds of Time, We Rise, and Burning Sands.
Yeah.
We played those a little bit on our last year's European tour because they were released and it
Possibly.
timed out well. But the other five tracks on the record, they've all only been played once when we did a little
Okay.
whiskey show out here in LA
Okay. So this
back
is
in
gonna be the
February.
first time.
So a lot of these new tunes haven't really
Okay.
haven't really gotten the stage time yet, and uh, I mean, we won't spoil any
Of course, of course.
anything for
Of
anybody,
course.
but you may be hearing some of those tracks. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
and it's one of those things too. Like the album's been out now for what 6, 7 months almost, I guess. And for me and Parker, we worked on them, we recorded them. They're not new songs to us, but we still
yeah,
feel like we really want to go out and play these songs live because to his point, they were written to be performed live. So it's about damn time that we get to go out there and play them.
yeah. Of course, I don't think you're like just an album band. It's just you're a live band mainly. Like, of course, but so this is gonna be like, of course, we don't want to reveal the set list something, but about the set list, I think you're gonna it's not going to be always the same set list for every live shows, I guess. I guess maybe you're working on a different set list for some festival. It changes if it's in a small venue, if it's a not small, if it's in a venue. So of course, I think you're adapting on that.
Yeah, it all depends on the amount of time that we have to play actually, because a lot of times these festivals they only give you 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, or opening slots. So when you have less time, you really have to choose. Like you can't do everything, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So you really have to be selective and choose which songs you're going to be able to play.
of course.
And then also too, you want to make sure it's all timed out right so that your set starts and finishes on time. You're not interfering with the schedule, and so it has to be pretty precise and pretty calculated on that. But the headline shows where we get to we get to do a little more, have a little more breathing room, play some extra songs, and really you really get the full experience of the band and what we're about,
Until like now, due to of course your previous live shows, there has been like, of course, we're talking about what you already performed live. Some song that really like the crowd requested continues like more than the other. Like when you like maybe they want an extra song, want another one. There was a particular song that the crowd was asking.
Yeah, I mean it's always the songs we don't play.
Okay.
Uh, obviously, I mean, sometimes, especially on social media, we'll just ask the question, like, what
Okay.
songs would you guys like to hear live? And it's actually surprisingly, it's very scattered across the board, which of course makes it harder for us to pick the songs as well. So it's kind of a balance where like of course, we got to pick the songs that we enjoy playing the most, but we also want to make sure that our
And
fans get to
people,
hear the songs that they love. So there are a couple of songs that we kind of, switch out every now and then to get the other ones in, and a couple of songs that are more like staples in the set currently. But yeah, I mean, that's always a tough one to figure out ahead of a tour.
of course, and I mean, like I've been like performing like along like in Europe and United States. Like, of course, is the question that finally can I ask you if there has been some memorable moments that also made you realize that Wings of Steel has grown as a band, or also some even some funny ones. Doesn't have to be always serious.
I mean,
Something.
yeah, go ahead.
I got this, man. I've this just happened actually. This was really funny. Um, so we went to go see the Iron Maiden
Okay,
documentary that came out a few weeks ago when Leo was here with
okay,
me in LA. We went to go see that. Um, and we're hanging out outside after, and some guy just casually talking, oh, are you in a band or whatever? And he's like, oh yeah, it's Wings and he's like, oh, I know you, I know you guys. I love you guys. You're my one of my favorite bands. I'm like,
yeah,
and it's the thing about that that's crazy. It's like, we're out here like the where we live, like the small theater, and you're just in public and you happen to run into somebody that
that knows you.
like knows and loves your band, and like it's I mean we get lots of incredible supportive comments from people all over the world, every day. So so that's cool. But when it's like actually in real life and it's like just a totally casual, you're out doing your
Exactly.
thing and like someone's like, "What's up?" Uh, that's a cool thing to witness, and I think
Of course.
it's a sign that we've done something right. At least the word
Yes,
is getting out a little bit.
of course. Leo, do you have some funny ones, or also from your part perspective, how you see that Wings are still grown up?
Um, I mean, it's always kind of, you get put on the spot when you get asked for funny ones, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I think it's a lot of fun to see the band growing in terms of like, the capacities are increasing, getting better support slots, people are discovering us, whether that's through social media or word of mouth and stuff like that. So I think all of that stuff is super cool. Always love when we play shows, and every time we, whether we come back to a country, it's like, there's more people there. More people are singing a lot more of the songs. Like people are more familiar with the entirety of the catalog as opposed to just like the number one and number two songs. So I guess it's stuff like that. And then there are a lot of specific moments that are very special to you, maybe not specifically as it relates to growing, but just like fans becoming super fans and
Yeah,
becoming like, this is my band, finding that personal
that's
relationship. So I always think that's super cool.
yeah, and also what I saw throughout, like when I mentioned before, while I'm doing interview, and it can happen that I mention, I'm noticing also that bands, like member of really like historical band, already are aware of your name, because I'm talking and like, yeah, yeah, especially in France. I don't know, like you left a print in that country, in France. Any one band that even if they come from folk background, or I don't know, thrash metal, they know what. Yeah, we saw it. Like I know how Wings of Steel. Like that name is echoing. So I think I don't know what happened, but France for a reason, but also is this is a show as well. This shows as well that we are growing and keep on moving. Like I said, in a I call it functional way, not too fast, not too slow. But also going back to Slaughter, that is a really beautiful venue in Milano, and is well known for literally tons of different stream live shows, heavy metal, whatever type of live shows, and has that beautiful lights. So, how much? Because sometimes we also forget that lights can be, have a important aspect as well. So how much the visual aspect of a live is important for you? And if so, do you have some, I don't know, like technique thing that you like set up for the lights, or you leave it due to the venue? But how much is important the visual effect or aspect?
It it's definitely very important. I mean, I think that's part of seeing the band play live is like seeing the members on stage playing the
Yeah,
music.
of course.
But for
We
us at
keep
this
the
stage,
lights on in the venue.
right. Right. For us at this stage, we've been taking a more just like straight to the
Yeah,
point approach where it's like, here we are, we're on stage, we're just gonna perform, we're gonna give you a raw set, you're gonna hear the music, and it's really more so about the music than having a bunch of
yeah,
crazy props and all that stuff. At this stage, I think that's part of just like where we're at, and we kind of want to
yeah,
like go out and really build like a really honest and just raw connection like that. Um, but I mean, it also is a thing too. Where like, we're still at a stage where like we're not playing huge venues on our own yet. And until you're in a big venue, the capacity for bringing around your own various stage setups is it's more limited. Also, when there's less money involved, that's logistically it costs more money to do that. So,
You're
um,
flying all over the place and stuff. It's hard to.
yeah,
right. So there are some practical limitations on that side as
at
well,
the
but
moment. That's at the moment.
right. But for us, it's not it's all about just us being there and playing the music and sharing that
Of
with
course.
the audience. That's the show for us.
Of course,
So
and with the Italian audience, at least like from your performance, what do you hope that they're gonna take away from the show? Like keep with them after the live show.
I mean, as with, and I think most band can attest to this, and it's one of those things where any live show, especially a Wings of Steel live show, it's a chance for people to just come together and
Yeah,
forget about all the shit that's going on in their personal life, all the bullshit that's happening around the
exactly.
world. Come together as brothers and sisters and realize that you're part of one fucking heavy metal family. So I
Yeah,
think if you can offer people that, I think that is great. That is greater than any one member of the band or even the band itself.
yeah, exactly.
That's really what it's all about, and that's what we hope to bring.
Yeah, it's a kind of a because music is universal language, so kind of that's not a way better way to put it. And if someone, of course, because there will be people that as they never saw performing you, so they are coming, let's say, do this Slaughter Club. What is the one thing that you absolutely that they should miss in the live show? And just like, what is the thing that kind of you're saying, okay, you're coming to our live show. This is what you can't miss.
any of it, if you come,
All
you
of
should
it,
see
from
the
the
whole
solo, from the
see the
high
whole
notes of it.
show. Yeah. if you're gonna go there and you're gonna buy the ticket, get your money's worth and check out the whole thing. But
Of
I mean,
course.
it's kind of a similar answer to your last question. As long
Yeah,
as if you want to come and see the band and hang out and be in a good environment and
of
put
course.
aside all the bullshit for a second and just have a good time, experience something real, experience some real music,
No,
musicians playing real music.
yeah.
Um, you know, we'd be stoked to see you out there.
Of course, you're performing like you perform like, I mean, how many years has it gone by already? 4, 5? I have no idea. Kind of around that time. So looking back, because we can say that now, how much has changed? Like if I don't know, you're stepping tomorrow with the first live show of Sabaton. Okay, let's go with Sabaton. And I have to look back towards when it was your first actual live show. Like how you see the difference, and especially what do you think that Parker and Leo of that first live show would have think of you today?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's very different from where we started and where we're at now. I think parts in terms of knowledge,
Yeah,
and also in terms of experience, of
of
course,
course.
as musicians and also as running things around it.
Yeah,
No, I think if we were standing there after our first live show and we had a chance to look into the future and see that we were going
of
to
course.
go on, a major arena tour in North America and do all these festival shows and play these cool headline shows, I think we would feel nothing but, pride for
Yeah.
what we've accomplished. And it's what we set out to do, and yeah, we're staying true to what we believe and the music that we love making, and so that has not changed, right? There are things that haven't changed and hopefully never will change. Um, but
Definitely.
yeah.
So, and of course, like, I mean, this the tour with Sabaton is the first tour where you're gonna actually be playing almost like every day. The office is a long tour, so it's your first actual long tour. So it's not because you already toured, but it was like some days off, some days, yeah, it was more like chill. So this time it's kind of. So are you preparing for
The
that?
real tour.
Yeah, the real tour like that. The other were just the warm up. This is the real tour. How you guys are preparing for that? Because it's gonna be stressful for sure, but it's gonna be fun at the same times. So
Well, the good news is, and I guess I can kind of start on like the more logistical side of things that um so like when with all these scattered dates, the thing that's great is like you go and you hang out for a few days and then
yeah,
you go and you do the show and then you hang out for a few
of
days and
course.
then and then you just you use cars or whatever, and you kind of get around, and it's a little bit more like a normal
Yeah,
person travel around. But for this tour, because there's so many shows back to back and it's
yeah,
like dozens of instances where you do a show and then you got to drive 7 hours and do a show the next day. And
exactly.
so we have like basically have a bus that we can all sleep on in between. We have a driver that's going to drive us.
Sure.
So and then also, we have a sound guy. We have a couple crew members that'll be helping us out. That'll be coming on the road with us. And so just having those people out there with us, I mean, they're great guys, but that will help us that
Yeah,
will make things a lot easier for us as opposed to usually when we just go it's on our own or with one or two other
yeah.
people. So
Uh,
that's
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest difference for us. And then I'll also say too with the Sabaton tour, like we're not headlining, so we're not playing for like 2.5 hours every night. We're
yeah,
only opening. So that's on us performance wise. It's a lot easier to do a shorter set than a full headline set day in and day out. So um I think
it's
that'll
fantastic.
be a nice even though it's a full tour with a
Uh,
proper schedule and everything, it's kind of like a nice way for us to kind of get an introduction to that way of doing things. We don't have to do that and go do a 2.5 hour headline show every night.
yeah.
So
You
um
can chill out a little bit at least after the performance
right.
of Sabaton.
Yeah.
But it's like performing also like we were saying before, it's also Canada, so it's going to take two countries. So it's a really not like you have to be committed because you have to be. I know that you guys will be like not Yeah, it might happen. One evening drunk, one other time like that. But also, sometimes, also times interviewer always ask, do you guys have some secret to keep yourself going for those 40 days? You're thinking about something like, I don't know, some, I don't know, schedule for sleeping or whatever, just some stupid thing but that can actually help even other people, can help to function better in the day when you're
I yeah, I think like we're yet to experience those long runs, like we said, but I think most people who've done it will probably agree when I say that if you can nail down the basics, which is, make sure that you're eating okay, make sure that you're getting enough sleep.
first. Yeah.
I think you're pretty set up, and then of course everyone deals with mental preparations in their own way and stuff. I think for us more so than anything, the tour that we're about to go out on is the real preparation for
Exactly.
the North American tour. So, but more so than anything, I think we're all just really really excited to get out there. So, if anything, I think it's about, you just got to take a deep breath, go out there, do it to the best of your ability, and enjoy. Don't forget to enjoy it, because you can get really caught up in holy shit, holy shit, holy shit when
Yeah.
when it's, the first time to go out on these big shows. I'm sure a lot of people would feel like that. So it is a great warm up if you want to look at it like that, for sure. That we'll get to, you know, Hellfest, Rock Imperium, like all
This
these
of
big festivals this year
course.
is certainly going to be
It's so,
a good way
yeah.
for us to ease into it.
It's also the first time you're performing at Hellfest.
Yes.
It is,
Yes.
yeah.
That's the fun.
It's the first time we're performing at basically
Everyone.
every show
Every
on
major
this tour.
festival.
Yeah, every
Yeah,
major festival,
yeah, it's a big festival, Hellfest. So it's kind of being already consecrated to the music scene with playing a Hellfest. It's kind of a city itself. I've been said. I never been there, but apparently it's like its own city, its own live. But and they're gonna be speaking about hundreds of thousands of people seeing you performing live. So that's also cool to see and to see after in video, I think. But of course, like since yeah, you have to go to be on tour, like a lot of live shows, and so there's a lot of live shows ahead. I would just describe also the chemistry that you built up with all the members during the live shows.
I think it's a normal thing, but the more you play together, the tighter you get. Um, and now that we've been playing together with these guys, for like 2 years now with Matt, and even though Mike just came back in the band, we were playing with Marcel for the last two European tours, who did a great job. But yeah, the chemistry between everybody is super tight. And like when we did a show at the Whiskey here in LA, because we were here ready to do the US tour, and then we're like we should do something. So, we threw that together last minute, but that was really good. But when we played, it was like this is like the tightest that we've ever sounded. So I think now going into do this European tour with all these shows that we're going to be doing, like I'm really really excited for how that chemistry is going to be already, and then how it's going to develop after that, and then doing the Sabaton tour and how it's going to develop after that. It's just
Yeah,
it's really
that's
it's really cool that to see that like evolve and continue to just refine, and yeah.
course. And I mean, like say like that is of course I can say like what's your future project, because there's so much at the moment to literally put it and leave it like here and now in the moment that the future is too far at the moment. So because you don't know what can happen after the Sabaton tour, because I think anything can happen from there, like go on another live show whatsoever, because that's I think the opening not the opening, it's like literally going on the first tour, like, and there's something that like as well, because it's like I said, I'm mentioning Canada because it's your first time there. There's, I don't know, some place that in general you're really like really looking forward to go. It's not because some country is better than another one, like or even festival that you're really liking to go and to perform and to be, or maybe to go again.
I mean, easy answer is, we want to go all over the place.
I shall
But
arrive soon, mate.
yeah, but to go into it a little bit more, I mean, for me personally, being born and raised in Sweden, I really want to play in
Of
Sweden. That's like a
course.
personal milestone for me. So we got to make sure that happens. Another thing too, like if you look at all these places around the world that are struggling for one reason or the other, where you can't go and play live shows right now, these are areas where those places will need some heavy fucking metal when the time is right, and we're gonna be on that. So there are a lot of places we want to play, a lot of new places that I'm sure we're gonna get to play
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
2027. I'm not gonna say anything more about that right now, but we do have plans. We're always looking ahead, always
Of course.
keeping the
Yeah.
ball moving forward, so to speak. So there's a lot of cool stuff coming.
Yeah.
Me and Parker, we were just together out there in Thousand Oaks in California, and we were working on new materials. So we already have some more music cooking, and
Okay.
yeah, no, we're excited for what's to come.
So guys, like what I mean, I can say the bands playing with you are really like, can I say, I can guarantee for X-Blade, they're amazing singer, amazing musician, amazing guitarist, and the other bands I'm sure that are cool as fuck, and there's gonna be really really live shows, and you already get a taste of the crowd in Italy. I mean, I wish you could bring you in Sicily or in the south of Italy, so time at the time. So for the moment being, just enjoy the live shows. I mean, we will see you there, of course, and enjoy especially, I mean, the tour with Sabaton. You deserve it. And always, I mean, I don't have to tell you, stay grounded, because you already know how to do it. So thank you so much, and see you in Milan then.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you for the time. It's good to see you again.
Always. Okay, so let's end it out. So ciao, guys. See you soon.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Won't you get out of